Greetings, seekers of wisdom, architects of destiny, and curious minds who wander the labyrinth of human nature. Welcome back to Psychiant, where we unravel the timeless tapestry of Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. This is episode 26, and today we dive into the enigmatic and transformative. Law 25, recreate yourself. Do not merely accept the role the world has scripted for you, for to do so is to surrender your essence to the whims of others. Instead, sculpt your identity with the precision of a Renaissance artist, crafting a persona that commands awe, inspires loyalty, and bends the tides of fate to your will. Law 25 is not just a law, it is an invitation to become the author of your own mythology. So, pour yourself a cup of ambition or coffee, if you prefer, and let us embark on this journey of self-reinvention, shall we? Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power is a masterwork of strategy, a codex of human behavior that distills centuries of cunning, ambition, and artistry into 48 immutable principles. Law 25 stands apart as a beacon of agency in a world that seeks to define us. It reads, do not accept the roles that society foists on you. Recreate yourself by forging a new identity, one that commands attention and never bores the audience. Be the master of your own image rather than letting others define it for you. This law is a clarion call to reject the shackles of expectation and to embrace the alchemy of self-creation. It reminds us that identity is not a fixed star, but a constellation we can rearrange, a canvas we can paint with bold and unexpected strokes. In a world that loves to categorize, to label, to confine, Law 25 is a rebellion, a poetic defiance of the ordinary. But why? You might ask, is reinvention so vital? Why must we break free from the mold? The answer lies in the currents of power, those who remain static, predictable, or tethered to outdated versions of themselves become pawns in the grand chessboard of life. To wield influence, to inspire, to endure, you must evolve. You must become a chameleon of character, a sculptor of self, a storyteller who rewrites the narrative with every season. And let's be honest, stagnation is boring. Who wants to be a one-note symphony when you can be a full orchestra? To understand Law 25, we must first grapple with the philosophy of identity. The ancient Greeks, with their penchant for wisdom and wine, believed in the concept of poiesis, the act of creation, of bringing something into being. Law 25 is poiesis applied to the self. It is the audacious belief that you are not bound by your past, your circumstances, or the expectations of others. You are clay, ever malleable, ready to be shaped into a form that serves your purpose. Consider the words of the poet Rainer Maria Rilke, you must change your life, simple, yet profound. Reinvention is not merely a superficial makeover, it is a metamorphosis of the soul. It requires courage to shed the skin of who you were, wisdom to envision who you could be, and discipline to bring that vision to life. But let's not romanticize it too much. Reinvention is also a strategic act. As Greene reminds us, power is a performance, and the world is your stage. Your audience, be it colleagues, rivals, or admirers, craves novelty, surprise, and spectacle. A predictable character fades into the background. A reinvented one commands the spotlight. Think of Madonna, the queen of reinvention. From material girl to spiritual guru to disco diva, she has rewritten her narrative so many times that she's practically a walking library of personas. Love her or loathe her, you can't deny her mastery of Law 25. To bring Law 25 to life, let us turn to history, where the bold and the cunning have long practiced the art of self-recreation. First, we journey to ancient Egypt, where Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh, wove a tapestry of identities to secure her throne and seduce the world. She was not merely a queen, but a chameleon of charisma. To the Romans, she was an exotic enchantress, fluent in their language and attuned to their desires. To her Egyptian subjects, she was a living goddess, embodying Isis with divine grace. To her lover Caesar, Antony, she was a partner, a muse, a strategist. Cleopatra understood that a singular identity is a liability. By recreating herself for each audience, she wielded power over empires and hearts alike. Her reinvention was not deceit. but mastering a calculated dance of personas that ensured her survival in a world that devoured her. Predictable. Imagine Cleopatra on social media today. She'd probably have a different aesthetic for every platform: papyrus scrolls for Twitter, golden filters for Instagram, and cryptic hieroglyphs for TikTok. Next, we turn to Benjamin Franklin, the American polymath who practically invented the art of self-reinvention. Born into humble circumstances, Franklin crafted himself into a printer, scientist, diplomat, and founding father. He was a master of personas, the witty almanac writer, the curious inventor, the charming ambassador. Each role was meticulously designed to suit his audience and advance his goals. Franklin's genius lay in his ability to adapt without losing his core. He once quipped, "Either write something worth reading or do something worth writing." In recreating himself, he did both, leaving an indelible mark on history. Lest we think reinvention is confined to politics or science, let us consider David Bowie, the 20th century icon who made transformation an art form. From Ziggy Stardust to the Thin White Duke, Bowie's personas were not mere costumes but fully realized identities, each with its own story, sound and soul. He once said, "I don't know where I'm going from here, but I promise it won't be boring," and it never was. Bowie's reinvention was a masterclass in Law 25. He captivated audiences by defying expectation, embracing the avant-garde, and rewriting his narrative with every album. His legacy reminds us that reinvention is not just about power, it's about creativity, freedom, and the courage to be more than one thing. These figures, Cleopatra, Franklin, Bowie, teach us that reinvention is not about erasing who you are, but expanding it. It's about crafting a mosaic of selves, each facet reflecting a different light, yet all part of the same radiant whole. Now, let us delve into the psychology of Law 25. Why is reinvention so powerful? The answer lies in the human mind's craving for novelty and its susceptibility to perception. Psychologists tell us that identity is not a monolith, but a narrative we construct, a story we tell ourselves and others. Law 25 invites us to become the authors of that story rather than its passive subjects. The power of perception in social psychology, the concept of self-presentation, is key. We are all actors, consciously or unconsciously shaping how others perceive us. Law 25 takes this to a higher level, urging us to craft a persona that is not only compelling but strategic. As Green writes, the world is ruled by appearances. A reinvented self, whether through a new style, a bold career pivot, or a shift in demeanor, can alter how others see you and, in turn, how they treat you. Ever notice how a new haircut can make you feel like you've unlocked a secret level? In the game of life, that's Law 25 at work. It is not just about looking different, it is about signaling to the world that you are a force to be reckoned with. The dangers of stagnation on the flip side. Failing to reinvent yourself can lead to what psychologists call identity foreclosure state, where you cling to an outdated version of yourself, unable to adapt to new realities. This is the trap of Law 25's transgression. Those who refuse to evolve risk irrelevance. In a world that moves at the speed of a viral tweet, stagnation is not just a personal failure, it's a strategic one. The balance of authenticity, but here's the catch. Reinvention must not be confused with inauthenticity. Law 25 is not about becoming a shapeshifter without a soul. It is about amplifying the parts of yourself that serve your purpose while letting go of those that no longer do. As the philosopher Heraclitus said, no man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man. Change is inevitable. The art lies in directing it. So, how do we apply Law 25 in our own lives? How do we become the architects of our own identity? Here are 5 practical steps, infused with a touch of wisdom and a sprinkle of wit. 1. Reflect on your current script. Begin by examining the role you're currently playing. Are you the overworked employee, the predictable friend, the one-dimensional dreamer? Ask yourself, is this who I want to be, or who the world expects me to be? Reflection is the first step to reinvention, for as Socrates said, the unexamined life is not worth living. Or, as I like to say, The unexamined life is like a Netflix series you keep watching even though it got cancelled after one season. Move on to 2. Envision your new persona. Next, imagine the version of yourself you wish to become. This is not about fantasy, but strategy. What traits, skills, or qualities will serve your goals? A leader commands respect. A visionary inspires awe. A rebel sparks intrigue. Sketch this persona in your mind as vividly as a painter envisions a masterpiece. 3. Experiment with small changes. Reinvention doesn't require a dramatic overhaul, at least not at first. Start small, change your style, adopt a new hobby, or shift your tone in conversations. These micro-reinventions signal to the world and yourself that you are evolving. As Lao Tzu wisely said, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Or, in modern terms, a journey of 1,000 followers begins with a single post. Point 4. Master the art of surprise. Law 25 thrives on defying expectations. Surprise your audience, whether it's your boss, your peers, or your social circle, by revealing a new facet of yourself. Launch a project no one saw coming, share a skill you've quietly honed, or pivot your career in a bold direction. Surprise keeps you memorable. Predictability renders you forgettable. 5. Commit to lifelong evolution. Finally, embrace reinvention as a lifelong practice. The world changes and so must you. As Green advises, never bore the audience, keep learning, adapting, and refining your persona to stay relevant and powerful. In the words of the poet Walt Whitman, I am large, I contain multitudes. Your identity is a universe, explore it. But beware, for every law of power carries risks. Law 25, when misapplied, can lead to missteps that undermine your efforts. Here are 3 pitfalls to avoid. 1. Inauthenticity. Reinvention must spring from your core, not from a desire to please others. A false persona is a house of cards, easily toppled by scrutiny. Be true to your essence, even as you reshape it. 2. Overreach. Attempting a dramatic reinvention without the skills or resources to back it up can lead to ridicule. If you proclaim yourself a tech visionary but can't code a line, the world will notice. Build the foundation first. 3. Neglecting your audience. Reinvention must resonate with those you seek to influence. A persona that alienates or confuses your audience will diminish your power. As Green warns, never outshine the master, or in this case, never bewilder the crowd. Unless, of course, bewildering them is part of the plan. Then by all means, dazzle away. In today's world, Law 25 is more relevant than ever. Consider Elon Musk, who has reinvented himself from PayPal pioneer to space explorer to AI visionary. Each pivot expands his influence, keeping the world guessing. Or take Beyoncé, whose evolution from Destiny's Child star to cultural icon reflects a masterful command of narrative and image. Even in the digital age, influencers and creators embody Law 25. They craft personas that captivate millions, adapting to trends while staying true to their brand. But the lesson is universal. Whether you're a CEO, an artist, or a student, reinvention is your key to staying relevant in a world that never stops scrolling. And here's a nugget of wisdom. Reinvention isn't just about power, it's about freedom. It's about refusing to be defined by others, about claiming the right to write your own story. In a world that loves to put you in a box, Law 25 is your crowbar. As we close this 26th chapter of our journey through the 48 laws of power, let us linger on the beauty of Law 25. To recreate yourself is to embrace the infinite possibilities within you. It is to dance with change, to sculpt your destiny, to paint your life in colors the world has yet to imagine. So, dear viewer, I leave you with this challenge. What part of yourself will you recreate today? What story will you tell? As the great philosopher Douglas Adams once said, the universe is a pretty big place. If it's just us, seems like an awful waste of space. Don't waste the space of your own potential. Recreate, reimagine, reignite. Thank you for joining me on Psychiant. If this episode sparked a thought, a dream, or a plan, share it in the comments below. Subscribe for more explorations of power, psychology, and the art of being human. Until next time, keep crafting your masterpiece.